of all, I'd like to remind everybody that we're in our 50th anniversary. We have this great special for the month of May. For every consultant who sponsors with a demo kit or volume collection, that sponsor will receive a ceramide care visage tablets, and there's a $58 value free. And, of course, for the directors, they get the Hunza, and they get the Golden Supreme vitamins, they get the Hunza book, and the Beauty by Janique through the years. And all of that, and if the person comes in with $1,000 or more, you're going to get the wonderful DVD, One Man, One Idea, How It All Began, as a special bonus. So we would just love to see a tremendous amount of new recruits come in this month and to really get out there and really make an effort to make it happen, because that's what's going to help you grow, and it helps our company grow, and it shows a stabilization to everybody. So we would love to see you take advantage of that for this month. And I have a little something I'd like to share with you. As you might recall in the letter we sent to you for this week, we mentioned about we weren't kind of calling to remind each person on the conference call. And because we always send out a letter to every week informing you what the subject will be. But most important, you know, we try to get you so you're aware to make the call and to put it down. Well, last week we didn't call and remind, and we did have a lot of people that didn't get on because they were waiting to be called and reminded, which brought to mind, I thought to myself, gee, you know, it's a lot of our people we bring into the business. We never hear from them again. We look on our bonus summary, did 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and you think, what happened to them? Why don't they order? Because maybe there's no contact. So we went ahead and kind of pulled up a report of how many people did not renew this year for the annual renewal. And do you know we had 742 people that did not renew this year. Now, that means a lot of your groups are not you've got a lesser amount of people in some of your groups because they didn't renew. So we sent out a little notice. We made a contact to them. We said, don't forget, in going through our records, we noticed you have not sent in your annual renewal. So to make a long story short, we told them, we said, you know, with our updated marketing plan, you can get a 40% discount when you order product. Otherwise, you're going to be paying retail because you're going to be inactive. Do you know that went out on Friday, and today so far we got 17 people calling in stating, oh, didn't I renew? I guess I forgot. Now, what does that tell us? That is a good lesson right there. If you don't contact your people and find out what happened, it's amazing that all of a sudden they want to be in the business, but they forget all about it, and you have to keep reminding them they're in this company, get them to work with the business and get them going. So I thought you'd find it interesting, and we're going to make a study off of that letter, how many people we get to renew, and which helps all of you because a lot of them are in your group. So I think it's a little lesson it was a lesson for us, and I think it should be a lesson for each leader to really make an analyzation of their group and figure out who you're going to call to try to get them reactivated again, or find out why they're not doing business. They must have been active at one time and excited. What happened? And maybe it's something that just that little contact might make all the difference in the world. All right, so that's kind of something that I felt was really important to talk about tonight. But most important, what we're going to do is our subject is how to inspire your new recruit to recruit. Now, you might say, well, gee, if the recruit isn't recruiting, if the new recruit doesn't do anything, how can she recruit? So that's the way it is. We have two speakers tonight, and I hope that they pull themselves off of the mute, and they're going to be talking tonight about these subjects. And then we're going to do a little bit of the marketing plan. So I believe, and tonight Nancy has a little family situation, so Nancy Hahn won't be on tonight, but she'll be listening to it tomorrow when she gets a chance. So we're going to introduce first. I believe, is it Mary or Jeannie going to go first? So let's go ahead and maybe take Jeannie first.
Okay.
Okay, and I would like to introduce Jeannie Denton. She's an IED. She lives out in the Maryland area, and she knows so much about this profession of direct selling, but most important, building organizations, and that is extremely important. So let's give a very warm welcome to Jeannie Denton. So, Jeannie, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Phyllis. Hi, everybody. I know you can't answer. That's kind of weirder for me than it is for you all. I'm not used to talking and not being talked back to. But anyway, I've been asked to talk a little bit about how to inspire new people to sponsor. I think there's, whether it's a new person or it's an old person, I don't know that it matters greatly. I think one of the things that, or two of the things actually that are at the top of my list is with us inspiring has to come sincerity. And I think we also have to become really better listeners. And that may sound like simple things, but sometimes we tend to make sponsoring a lot more complicated than it is. Don't underestimate what those little words of sincerity and listening to what other people may want, what it can bring you. I think sincerity lives deep inside of all of us, and people just pick it up. They pick it up when they know it's genuine. I know this group tonight knows where I'm coming from, and that you understand how important it is. We're not just sponsoring to sponsor. We're sponsoring to give each person the ability to change their life, or at least enhance their life at the very least. From the beginning of offering someone the opportunity, we need to know what her wants and needs are. For instance, would she want to replace her entire income, or does she need the $10,000 or $15,000 that it's now taking to put children in private schools? And I don't mean college, for sure. Or is she looking for maybe the car payment she needs? Is it outstanding bills that she just can't get past because of the interest rate? Remember, it's all about her, and I think if you can remember that single thing tonight when it comes to sponsoring, you'll remember a lot. Remember, it's about her and what she wants. It makes it simple that way. You don't have to try to figure it out. You just listen. If your team wants to sponsor, either at a meeting or a one-on-one, sit down and look at some monetary goals or some material goals. Let's take the new person. We really ought to be setting goals with our newbie to begin with, to find out what she wants. Find out specifically. Like people say, I need money. Well, how much did you have in mind? And they'll kind of look back at you, and often they'll say, I don't know. Well, let's try to break this down. If you're to do this and I need to help you, then I need to know what it's going to take to make this worthwhile for you. I want you to be happy with your own business. So what are we going to judge that on? How much is it going to take before we know that you're at that level where you need to be? So if we don't ask, she just goes from month to month, and we may think she's happy, and she may not be at all. Now, let's think of some other things. Let's say that she tells you I desperately need a new car. And you say, well, what kind? Well, I don't know, anything but that's new. But that's just not cutting it either. We've got to tell her to go to the dealership, whether she's brand new or she's been around for a while, go to the dealership, find a car, sit down with someone, find out what the payments are going to be. Does she have to have a down payment, what that minimal has to be, and what it's going to cost her. How much is she actually going to need? And then get a picture of that beauty and put it on the front of the fridge, and then start announcing to everyone she's getting a new car, which is very powerful too. A lot of times, we keep it to ourselves because we think it's really not going to be true, and if we say it out loud, we have to make it happen. Been there, done that. But it's really, really important. There again, at your meetings, and Mary's probably going to, maybe going to talk some about that. That you can have each one of them bring a picture of what their goal is to a meeting and share it. Because sometimes people just really don't stop and think about it. another thing is that we need to